you really want to know what electricity is or what lightning is? Lightning is not just electricity, it is static electricity. Okay? Static comes from the same word that we use for statistics or for a stadium. It basically means to stand, or static means to stand still. So the standings are where you are right now. The statistics are where you are right now. So static electricity holds still in one place. This is that thing when you take the balloon and rub it on your hair, what you're really doing is you're knocking some of the electrons off of your hair, and they're jumping and connecting and hanging on to the insulator, the blocker, that is the rubber band, or that is the rubber balloon. Okay, and that's why your hair sticks out, because it wants to reach those electrons again and bring them back. It also you've got a whole bunch of positively charged hairs and positives, just like how the magnets separated themselves. The positive hairs, the ones that have too many or too few electrons, too many protons, are pushing each other apart, which is why they stand up and away from each other. Okay. And this is a really sad story, but a long time ago, back in the 70s or 60s, there was a girl and her two brothers, and they were playing around in their backyard, and they thought it was really cool that their hair was standing on end. And they took some pictures of each other. Well, when their dad got home, unfortunately, all three of them were lying dead in the backyard, and they didn't know what had happened to them. And so the dad found the camera and said, let's find out what's going on with this. And so he actually took the camera, took the film, and got it developed. And they found pictures, this picture of this girl and another picture of her two brothers with their hair all standing out. And they figured out that what happened was, they were like, whoa, dude, our hair's standing out if we stand in this spot in the backyard. And here's what was going on, unfortunately. Inside a cloud, you have this wind that's swirling around. As it does that, you have water molecules that bump into each other. And sometimes as they bump into each other, they lose electrons or gain electrons. What happens is you have this tendency that up at the top of the cloud, you end up with smaller, lighter, water molecules that are all positive. Okay, just like how we have two poles on a magnet, north and south, we have positives and negatives with electricity, with atoms. And so when you lose an electron, the negative goes away, and so you become positive, and you're lighter, so you tend to go to the top. That also means that the ones at the bottom tend to be negative, and they don't like being all squished into that cloud together. Now, a couple of things can happen here. It can happen that this is flip-flopped. Okay, you've heard that lightning can jump from the ground up to the cloud. That's true, it can. It also can come from the ground, or from the cloud to the ground. Another thing that can happen is it can jump to another cloud that might be next to it and would jump across. That's a possibility too. But sometimes what happens is you get this right here, we call it a super negative charge in the cloud, okay? And so if you get that, what can happen is that down on the ground, it can actually attract all of the protons on the ground. And the grounds are sitting there going, wait, we want to reach up to all of those negative electrons. So you can end up with a super positive on the ground. And if enough of these come together, and then you happen to be standing here, you are a better pathway for electrons than the air. Because what happens is that the electricity can jump down so that those negative, those electrons can all jump together and get with those positives, and everybody goes, that's so much better. Except when you've got somebody who is standing here and got struck by lightning. Okay, and so you need to be safe with lightning. You need to make sure when there is lightning, if you can get inside, do. Get away from the windows and doors and electrical devices. Unplug things so that you don't have another path for the electricity to follow, and stay out of bathrooms because there's a lot of metal pipes in there, and they say don't do the dishes. So don't tell your mom I told you that if you're trying to get out of doing dishes on a stormy day. All right.